You're listening to the WSJU Sports Update, giving you up-to-the-minute stats, scores, and news.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the SportsStop. Here is your sports news of the day. After 7 long months, the NFL season is back with a bang. The defending champs, the Seattle Seahawks, dominated again. Falcons beat the Saints in an overtime thriller, and the Jets won their opener against the Raiders. Tonight features 2 Monday Night Football games, with the Giants visiting the Detroit Lions and the Chargers facing off against the Cardinals. With football comes injuries, and arguably the biggest injury of the day came to the Houston Texans' prize rookie, Jadeveon Clowney, who left the game with a knee injury. The team fears he may have a torn meniscus and require surgery. And yesterday, the New York Yankees celebrated their Jeter Day. Some notable guests who were at the stadium to witness the retiring captain ceremony were Joe Torre, a bunch of old teammates, and soon-to-be Commissioner Rob Manfred, and many others. However, the Yankees lost the game 2-0 against the Royals. I'm James Mitchell, and that was your Sports News of the Day. Stick around for the first edition of the Sports Stop of the fall 2014 semester. You don't want to go away. Stay tuned.
This is the Sports Stop with your hosts, James, Evan, and Kurt, only on WSJU Radio.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the Sports Stop here on WSJU Radio. I'm the voice of St. John's University. I am WSJU's own James Mitchell, alongside my partners for this semester, Kurt Semm and Evan Maguire. Fellas, it's been a long time since we've all been together in this booth. What, about 4 months? Yeah, I should turn your mics on. Of course, we're a little bit rusty, and by we, I mean me. But no, it's been 4 months.
4 months.
4 long months. A nice long summer. However, summer's never quite long enough, in my opinion.
But, you know, it's good. Summer needs to come to an end because it's time to get to the seriousness of fall and spring and winter. I forgot winter. My bad. Sorry, I tried to be
I can go for some more summer. No.
Also, sports.
Everybody can go for some more summer.
For
However,
summer's best because it's just baseball.
Yes, I do enjoy good baseball.
Yeah, but, but
of course.
For some of us, we need a little more sports.
Now, however, this summer was very important to you, Kurt, if I'm not mistaken, due to the FIFA World Cup happening and your Germany winning it all.
It was probably one that top 3 happiest days of my life.
Yeah. Of course, they beat Argentina. What was it, 2-1?
Well, 1-0,
1-0,
and they beat Brazil 7-1, which was
that was the highlight.
That was the icing on the cake. I was just so it was just happiness.
I don't blame you.
I mean, I don't think anyone could really believe Brazil lost 7-1.
Very true. In Brazil.
Brazil. Of course, they had injuries. They had Neymar Jr. out. Who else they have out? They had another guy.
Thiago.
But Thiago Silva deserved to be out.
I mean,
he got suspended, right?
Yeah.
The goalie was punting it, and he just ran right into him, and then got a yellow card and was like, wait. But no, the World Cup was an amazing spectacle. You got to see so many cool things. Spain got destroyed by Holland in the first game.
That they did.
Yes. Holland proved that no matter how good they are, they will never win a World Cup because they're Holland.
That's also true.
Holland's going to eventually win.
I don't know, dude. Okay, you're talking about a country who, even in the 70s, in 74 or 54, had the best team. Met Germany in the final, lost 3-2. They were averaging 5 goals a game during that tournament in the final.
Yeah, history's just not on their side. I'm always, high on the Netherlands going into a FIFA World Cup. And I'm just,
I mean,
a casual fan would be, an overstatement for me.
Yes.
But, I actually did pay attention a lot more this year.
Well, 'cause
USA, by the way, did superb.
Yeah, they
They
put on a good
didn't.
showing.
They couldn't get by Belgium, but they put up a challenge.
Yeah, they just realized that to win a World Cup, you need more talent. That's what they're honestly at the end of the day.
USA has a lot of young talent too.
Yeah, and they just need. It's about taking that talent, and just developing it at this point.
Klinsmann's the right guy to develop it. You leave Landon Donovan off the team, and you put in Julian Green, 19 years old. Scores
And
a goal
of
for you
course,
guys.
it's not all about young talent. Sometimes all you need is a goalie that can block 25 to 35 saves a game.
Yeah,
Tim Howard, of
casual.
course, I'm talking about.
Well, I know James is not that big of a soccer fan, but soccer became very interesting over the summer because all the really good players all came to one team. There's so many Miami Heats in soccer at the moment, or I should say Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, now it's Cleveland, yeah.
I feel like we should get it, but I feel like our main focus today should be on football.
And, of course, that is our top story. The NFL season is back after 7 long months. The defending champions, still looking fresh, put down a 36-16 beating over the Green Bay Packers on Thursday to kick off the season.
Your beloved Packers.
My beloved Packers. However,
Hey, the Bears lost too.
Bears lost 2 in an upset. Buffalo Bills, one of the biggest
yeah.
upsets of the day. Also, another big upset was the Miami Dolphins. Even though they were at home, they beat the Patriots. First time in Tom Brady's career.
Being at
in
the
his
bottom of the division.
Yes, in his reign.
Starting quarterback.
As in his reign as a starting quarterback, he's at the bottom of the division alone.
Oh wow! Well,
Since
they
what?
should just quit. They should just quit.
They should.
It's like
you know?
since 2001?
They should just quit.
They should get the draft pick. Yeah, since 2001, that's when he took over for Drew Brees after a New York Jet player, Drew Bledsoe. I did that.
No.
Yeah, it was Bledsoe. It was Bledsoe. Yeah.
I was going to say Eric, but then I was like, that's
Yeah.
the point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
No, Drew Bledsoe. I did this. I was talking about Drew Brees, and I said Bledsoe the other night, too.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
he took over for Drew Bledsoe, and of course, ironically, a New York Jet injured Bledsoe, and all the Jets were like, yeah, all right, they're not going to be relevant anymore. And then, Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl.
I think it's kind of funny that every time Drew Bledsoe got hurt in his career, the guy who replaced him went on to be way better than he was. If you look at Kurt Warner at St. Louis, and then he went to the Patriots, he's like, finally, I can run this team. And then the same thing happened to him. He got hurt, and then the next guy came in and won the Super Bowl with that team.
Not every team, because he went to the Buffalo Bills, and I think the person who replaced him was J.P. Losman.
Okay, but also, you don't have to say anything past it. It was the Buffalo Bills. I know,
True.
What team goes to 4 consecutive Super Bowls and doesn't at least get a ring?
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, poor Buffalo.
That's tough. Also, he also did go to the Cowboys, and I believe Tony Romo took over for him.
Yeah, Tony
Took
Romo.
over for Drew Bledsoe. So that's a nice little fact there. So yeah, a couple of other games. Of course, the big game last night was the Colts going into Denver. Another Colts versus Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning this time prevailed. That was his first win against the Colts, making him one of only 2 quarterbacks to beat all 32 teams. The other, my main man, Brett Favre. I wear Wrangler jeans because of Brett Favre.
What is his? Isn't his retire, or isn't his number being retired by your Packers?
Yes, that's going to be next season. I think next preseason. If you want to call in, talk about football, the phone number is 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. We got a great show lined up for us. We have a new segment that Kurt doesn't even know about.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. I don't even know about it.
You don't even know about it?
I don't even know about it.
It's going to be fun, though. We're going to be talking about, we're going to have our NFL predictions, and we're going to talk a little bit about baseball. Another top story, speaking of baseball, is Derek Jeter's retirement ceremony. I don't know.
So sad.
I don't know if you guys watched, but I know Evan did, because I was with Evan. Him and a good buddy of ours that we were watching it together, and, of course, these Yankee fans over here, Evan, the buddy, his name is Junior, weeping.
It was sad.
Weeping, watching
It was rough.
watching Derek Jeter do his speech and things like that. notable guests coming in: Michael Jordan, Cal Ripken Jr. The mayor made it national, not national, but Derek Jeter Day in the city.
And then the three guys from space.
Yeah, and the three astronauts from space tipping their hats. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
None of which wearing
one wearing a Germany jersey, a Germany soccer jersey, another wearing a Crush Davis Oriole shirt, and the other wearing a Peyton Manning t-shirt. We have a new person in the booth today. Why don't you share your name with us, good sir?
What's up, man? I'm Sean.
Sean, welcome to the Sports Stop. Are you
glad to be here.
Good. You a prospective member
Of what?
of the radio station?
Oh, I'm doing my hours right now.
Terrific.
Yeah, man.
Nice to have you here.
Man.
What sports are you interested in, bud?
Hey, man, I do it all. I was watching that Jeter ceremony.
There you go.
Before the game started, football game started.
You a Yankee fan?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was rough.
Sad day.
Yeah.
I don't
What
watch
you guys
it.
think about Pettit not being there, though?
I actually pointed that out. I'm sure it had nothing to do with personal reasons. It's
know.
probably just he couldn't get there.
It's kind of an important meeting to not, to something to miss, right?
Yeah, I mean core 4. You're missing one of the
everybody
4.
else was there. Except A-Rod. But A-Rod not a core player.
A-Rod's not supposed to be there anymore. He's got another few months before he can step foot in Yankee Stadium.
I remember, like right when Derek Jeter announced his retirement, there were so many tweets and little memes on there's picture of Derek Jeter be like, "There's no way I'm retiring right now, so I don't have to play with A-Rod again," and just a bunch of him "There's no way I'm playing with that guy again." Yeah, but I don't know, who are the Yankees going to be without Derek Jeter?
That's going to be the big question. I mean, who's going to be their shortstop? You never know what the Yankees are going to do in the offseason.
That's still in the future, though. Let's not talk about that yet.
Listen, it's inevitable, bud.
And it is, but he's still there right now.
I do have a problem with one thing. And that one thing is, why don't they do this at the last home game of the year?
Exactly.
Why do they have to do this in the beginning of this last month?
I don't think they're not going to be going too far in the playoffs.
I think they said because since the football season was starting, they for attendance reasons.
Maybe
people in there merchandise and stuff.
Yeah, but
you don't have to do it on a Sunday,
right?
But also, I feel like the Yankees are one of the few baseball teams that don't really have to beg people to come to their games.
Right.
Well,
sure,
baseball.
baseball.
This season they do.
This season a little bit.
Yeah, but there's hardcore Yankee fans that will just go to Yankees games.
A lot of empty seats at the stadium.
Yeah, I mean,
but
hardcore
also,
Yankee fans usually leave early.
That was the first time.
Show up late, leave early.
That was the first time all year that stadium was packed.
Yeah.
I said it last night. It's the one time that every New Yorker is going to be at somewhere on time,
Matter of fact,
maybe early.
That's the first time, in recent memory, I can remember the stadium being packed. That might be the most packed.
I mean,
they said packed.
The last one I remember is Mariano's retirement ceremony that they had last year.
That's what the Yankees have come to. We're just it's just ceremony.
We just need to retire.
Celebrating the past.
Yeah.
That's what the Yankees have always been about. Celebrating the past.
And then once every 10 years, they just have a team that's just ridiculous.
That's true.
It all.
Yep.
Just around every 10 years, except in the 90s, they were just
the late 90s.
Yeah.
They were, the upper echelon, of course, the dynasty.
Started Derek Jeter's career.
Exactly. What coincidence? I think not.
Yeah.
Sean, are you a football fan?
Yeah, man.
What's your team?
G-Man, man. G-Man tonight.
Giants. You got the Giants playing tonight on Monday Night Football. One of 2 games tonight. The other one being the Chargers and the Cardinals. So, how you feeling about your team this year? Kind of a rough preseason. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but
I mean, they went 5.
Talking about it when the games actually count.
Okay.
Before the preseason, I like the pickups we made this offseason, addressing the defense.
I mean, that's one thing you had to
picks.
address.
You gotta get Beckham healthy though.
Hey, there's another 3 weeks out, right?
Yeah.
I think the New York Giants are. It's kind of funny. They are literally the San Francisco Giants in comparison.
Yeah.
Right? Listen,
Giants win every
year. The San Francisco Giants will either win the World Series or be one of the worst teams in baseball. The Eli Manning will either be one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL or be one of the worst 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. And the Giants, and Tom Coughlin has this remarkable. Every time he's about to get fired, he wins his Super Bowl, prolonging his contract another 3 years.
Yep.
It's brilliantly organized by that team. I don't know if it's I don't know if they just all wing it together at the last minute, but they are honestly one of the most entertaining teams.
The
Thing
about the Giants, though, is that every season, even like when they were winning their championships, they're never picked as the preseason favorite.
No, never.
Never. Right?
That's part of
So
that being
I'm
Giants.
going into the season. I'm looking at everybody preseason pick the Eagles. I don't buy the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles.
I don't buy the Eagles. I was watching that game. I watched that game yesterday. I'm not a Nick Foles believer.
He went to the U of A, and I grew up in Tucson. I am a big Nick Foles fan.
I have a cousin that went to University of Arizona. He's a big
but
Nick Foles fan.
I just think Nick Foles. I last year I wasn't a believer, and then he had that game with 7 touchdowns, and then he had the best passer rating from when he took over. If you look at the statistics, like from when he took over that full time job.
And Matt Flynn got paid too. He had
Matt Flynn got paid too. He's right.
He had a 6 touchdown game.
He had
16,
one game,
17?
though.
Yeah, it was
the end of the year.
Yeah, it was 6
It
touchdowns.
was the last game of the season.
You know, I said something really controversial the other day, and people wanted to kill me over it. I said that the Eagles at the end of the year. I said Sanchez is going to be the starter, not injury, like just off bad performance.
I was really worried. I saw Sanchez warming up yesterday.
Sanchez looked good in the
I watched like one play in the preseason, and it just happened to be Sanchez throwing an interception. I don't know if that was just.
No, he actually played.
Former New York Jet great Mark Sanchez.
Well, see, what Mark Sanchez doesn't have is he doesn't have that Geno ability of throwing an interception on your own 28 and then fumbling it 3 yards from the end zone and still winning the game 19-7. That's Geno Smith. Geno Smith can literally mess up so many times.
You looked good yesterday, though.
Against the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
Can we please mention that?
Yeah,
Can we please mention that?
Geno looked good yesterday, though.
No, he did. It's just, those turnovers that he had, they were so close to the red zone.
Yeah.
And one was feet away from the end zone.
It was, I think personally that they should at least give Michael Vick one start.
I mean, they had him in a wildcat.
Like they had him at wide receiver and they gave him a flip, and he had Decker open.
Yeah, it's just
Decker stopped running. It looked like, and
maybe he slowed down a little bit.
Yeah,
it looked like he had the touchdown. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they work with Mike Vick. Of course, the Jets after the Dolphins pretty much brought the wildcat into effect and made it relevant that one year with
Ronnie Brown,
yeah.
Who was there?
Was it Cadillac Williams? No, he was with Tampa Bay.
It was
Ronnie Brown and
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams, yeah. Run, Ricky, run.
Yeah, except that everyone was just
Chad
like,
Pennington
oh,
year.
wait, it's just they're putting their running back as their quarterback.
That was a Chad Pennington
okay.
year.
And then finally everyone started stopping it.
And then everyone started trying to copy it.
Yeah, and the Jets were, right there with copying it.
Never worked.
No.
Never works.
I don't think it's going to work this year either. So.
That's why you got to love the pocket passers like Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. That was a pretty good game last night. Peyton Manning.
I wouldn't consider Andrew Luck a pocket passer. He's never inside. He's rarely inside the pocket.
Actually,
he's
you know
always
what?
Outside the
You're
pocket.
right. He is surprisingly agile on his
he's
feet.
Athletic.
During
stereotypes aside, he's athletic.
During that game last night, they showed the stat of last year. Cam Newton led all quarterbacks with 14 rushing touchdowns. Andrew Luck was second with 10, and then it was like RG3 with somewhere between 5 and 10.
Andrew Luck is always outside the pocket.
Yeah,
he's really athletic. All stereotypes aside, he's really athletic. He
surprises you, dude. You'll just be like, "Wow, I did not know."
I mean,
for such a big guy. I mean,
he doesn't look fast, but he's got some giddy up in him.
For sure.
And he showed that off a little bit last night. Of course, the Broncos came out to a early 24-0 lead.
He's really smart with his athleticism. He knows it too. Like RG3 on the other hand, he's just getting beat around.
Yeah,
that's that Stanford education working out on the football field.
Honestly, I think you're right.
Was he trying to say Baylor's not a good?
Well, I felt bad for RG3 yesterday because he played pretty well, and then everyone just he did.
Like 8 points in fantasy. Did he?
No, okay, but he was at the 50. He threw a perfect pass to this guy who got down to the 5, fumbled it, and then
Deshaun. Please tell me
it was his tight end. It was some no-name tight end.
Backup tight end.
Yeah, and then he didn't throw a pick, and then on another one he messed up the handoff with Alfred Morris at the 5-yard line again.
He was falling down and trying to.
Yeah, no, he got his center stepped on him. It was just kind of. It was just the Redskins. It's just I don't get
was it bad luck or was it
No, I think
I don't think the Redskins have that good of a team this year. I mean,
I think defensively you didn't really get to see. I forgot who they play again. The
Texans.
The Texans.
Yeah.
The Texans, even with they're not Ryan Fitzpatrick and Andre Johnson, Aaron Foster, who also had a really bad fumble the other day. Aaron Foster, I don't.
But he had 100 yards for the first time in how long?
Yeah, exactly.
Long time,
Poor
coming
Aaron,
off
dude,
of that
Aaron,
back surgery or whatever.
The Texans. I feel like the Texans' biggest thing. Well, now J.J. Watt is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Texans were my super team.
He won that. He
I
won
don't
that
blame
game.
him. They
J.J.
got,
Watt won
they got
that
a good
game.
defense.
People forgot. Last year, going into the season, they were like a Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah, they were.
They had one of the better defenses
So that
in the
team is
league.
still there. It's still intact.
Yeah. The only thing
And they
they're
got
missing
rid of
is Matt
Kubiak.
Schaub.
Kubiak wasn't really a good coach.
He had a heart attack.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
mean,
bad
he was
the team
going to get fired regardless of the heart attack.
That's true. I mean, not many coaches come back from being a Super Bowl team to getting the first round pick in the draft,
Yeah.
and then they come back the next season. It's a little bit of a rarity. But I mean, with that first pick, they got Jadeveon Clowney,
Who's now hurt.
who's now
Hurt for
injured.
4
He
to
might
6
be
weeks,
out for
probably.
4 to 6 weeks with
Torn meniscus.
a torn
Why is that not
meniscus. Yeah, right.
surprising?
That's sports. You couldn't really judge his performance for being in there for
It's
one
funny
half.
because
Yeah.
his whole junior season at South Carolina, he was staying out trying to protect himself so he wouldn't get hurt.
It's true.
And in the first game, he gets hurt.
Jadeveon Clowney
it's
made
just
one
ironic.
after that hit against that Michigan running back where he knocked off
He
the guy's
just
helmet and just
blasted
picked
him.
up the ball. That literally propelled him to a place where he wasn't even ready for.
Yeah,
Just
he-
with all
amount
the
of hype he
spotlight
got.
and
Yeah,
I think it's deserved. He deserves it.
that's
Yeah,
He's
he-
different.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
It's
he's
like-
different. He's superior.
Yeah, it's superior.
It's just,
and
you
that's
know-
saying something. That's saying
Yeah,
something.
and it's just a shame to see such a talented young man go down with a knee injury his first game of his career.
And he's playing beside the best defensive end in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JJ, honestly, that he single-handedly won that game yesterday. He blocked
Oh,
an
yeah.
extra
JJ Watt
point.
was
He
an animal.
he got like 3 or 4 sacks and
He's a better
swatted.
man than me because if I got paid $100 million, I'm not really showing up the next week. I'm not
Did you
really
see
good.
that he Googled after he signed his contract? He Googled what do rich people buy. He had no idea what to do with all that money.
It's a good problem to have.
That's true.
But also, a lot of people mess that up real bad. A lot of football players take that money and they buy.
They buy everything.
Yeah.
Like Des Bryant, one of my favorite stories. Last year, he picked up a tab at a restaurant for like $52,000, and everyone was
I
just
feel like that's really hard to do. Just
Right?
go out and get $52,000 worth of
Of food and drinks.
that's hard to do.
I mean,
even at the ridiculous
even-
New York nightclubs where
yeah, even if you're paying for 10, 15 people, that's going to be hard to do.
yeah,
My goodness.
52,000.
then he got there, was like, all right, guys, I want to blow around half $100,000 or half $100,000, so like $50,000. You guys ready? And they're like, all right, dude, we'll try.
We got you. You say so.
Let's get the nice blueberry pie this time for dessert. What other big games? Oh, probably the game of the day, in my opinion, the Saints and the Falcons. Falcons winning 37-34 in overtime. The first game of the year. Falcons, of course, had a disappointing year last year.
They're back, though.
Roddy White was injured. Julio Jones was out for the season after 4 games. They're back, and Matt Ryan had over 400 passing yards, 3 TDs. And they win the game 37-34 against the Saints, who a lot of people have
Look
winning
good,
the Super
too.
Bowl.
Matt Ryan looked good, and I was never a big Matt Ryan fan.
I think the
He's
Falcons.
getting me. I'm coming over.
Yeah.
I think the Falcons are up there. I think I would put the Cowboys in the same league as them, as in teams with great or like off the charts offenses, and then I couldn't tell you one person on their defense. On either
That's a good.
On the Falcons?
on the Falcons, I couldn't name you one person, and on the
I
Cowboys,
can name a couple, but it's not really. I see what you're saying.
yeah, like I just
Yeah.
think
They're not
I
household
just feel
names.
like
Yeah, it's all
when you
about-
play
it's all
the
about the offense
Saints
for both
in the
those
like
teams.
that game kind of worked it for them because like that was literally whoever has the ball with like a minute to go is going to win the game, type of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
Yeah, which is what happened. Whoever got the ball first was going to, score. But I think when they play someone like a that relies purely, a defensive-minded team.
Right.
That's
like
why I think
like a Seattle or
Yeah.
San Francisco.
or or San Francisco is going to have to wait a little bit because
They've got suspensions and they got injuries.
yeah, but like until they get those guys like Bowman,
it's the
I mean not
Cowboys,
Bowman.
Everybody looks good against the Cowboys. The
Cowboys,
defense doesn't look good.
yeah, the offense looks.
The
awesome
Cowboys have
against the Cowboys.
their defense is just awful. So when they got that fumble for a touchdown and
the game was over right there.
Yeah, I was just like, there's no way they're gonna get that back because their defense can't stop anybody. So.
Cowboys are the funniest. All Cowboys games should be televised on Comedy Central because those games are hilarious.
Did you see?
Romo?
Yeah, go ahead, Devin. Okay. Did you see that picture of AT&T Stadium? America's
So
team,
much red, yeah.
so much red in those stands.
I have a cousin.
So much red for those 49ers
I have a cousin
fans.
who lives in Texas, and he works. He's interning for like the Cowboys or something, and he has like a radio booth or something. And I asked him, I was like, "Is it as like? Does it seem like there's that many 49ers fans as it does on TV?" He was like, "It's 70-30."
Wow.
He said 70-30 San Francisco
Wow.
in their own stadium.
That's a lot.
Stadium.
That's,
That's
I don't know.
That's remarkable.
I mean, of course, if you're a traveling fan and you want to see your team, why not go to AT&T, the brand spanking new stadium with all these, shiny new toys and things like that. But 70-30, come on, guys. Why can't Dallas, America's team, bring their fan base to?
You need to stop that. They're not.
Yeah.
Not in this century.
I agree with that,
true,
but I mean
maybe.
historically, you know what I mean?
It's ESPN. Like,
Yeah, it is.
Hey, actually, I think since we're talking about football, and I've just been wondering this,
Yeah.
since the Oakland Raiders, just in the last decade have just been, besides going to the Super Bowl and getting tromped on by the Buccaneers in, I want to say like 2000,
2002.
2002.
Yep.
Thank you, Jimmy. Well, wait. What's the Jimmy Little Nuggets? Jimmy's.
Oh, Jimmy Mitchie's Nuggets.
Yeah, Jimmy. Thank
Yeah.
you for that, Jimmy. Mitchie Nugget right there.
Yep.
But anyway, I think
Forgot about
that
that.
since the Oakland Raiders have just kind of been, they should. And also, Magic Johnson said that LA is ready for a professional football team, and I think the Raiders should go back to LA, where they had more success.
I mean,
And Bo Jackson.
they're
and Bo Jackson.
Bo knows, dude.
Like I heard that they want to bring like maybe 2 teams to LA now. So and Minnesota might be looking
Yeah,
to
I
go.
heard
St.
Minnesota.
Louis, Minnesota. I mean,
aren't they getting a new stadium?
They have a new stadium.
They
yeah.
So
I mean,
I don't know.
they
They're not going
were-
anywhere now.
yeah, but I mean they were talking about it.
Yeah,
but
I remember that
St.
a few years
Louis,
ago.
I think they're just using LA as like a negotiating chip for like all the like teams that like
That
don't
want a
get
new
stadium.
stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just say, "Hey,
Listen, we get a
we're
new
gonna go to
stadium
LA."
or we're going to LA because
it's
people
not
like
a-
us in LA.
It's not a bad thing to have at all.
No, definitely not.
It's just like the NBA in Seattle.
That's true.
That's true. I hear,
The Hawks. I heard the Hawks might go to Seattle now with the owner.
oh yeah, the owner, of course, he got fired or
The owner.
No, I think he just said, I don't want the team anymore.
No.
That's basically what it was. Because basically what happened was he like ousted himself, and like it was some emails where he was saying
Yeah,
some
like a racist
stereotypes
email.
and stuff, and he basically told himself to the league.
yeah. I mean,
So it's looking like
I mean,
like,
it's
I don't
it's looking
understand why
like
you do that.
was he thinking like he was going to get caught? So he was just like, I
I
might
mean,
as well turn myself
maybe
in
you
now.
never
I mean, there's
know.
no investigation.
Yeah, I know, but like,
You never know
I think he
what.
wanted to sell the team. That's why.
and he kind of made that as the excuse why.
Maybe. I mean, or you never know who's watching or who can dig up some sort of old email. Of
probably
course,
just
you
wanted
know.
He probably saw the Clippers sell for $2 billion and said, "Hey, this is probably a good time."
Honestly,
sell my team.
I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't doubt that.
That's probably what it is because it doesn't make sense that he would just tell himself like that.
Except I wouldn't pay $2 billion for the Hawks. I'd pay
Oh, nah, they'll go for like close to a bill, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
Not-
between the Milwaukee Bucks for $500 million.
Yeah, so they probably and Atlanta's a better market than Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Definitely.
They might go close to like
I think they'll be close to a bill.
because like I feel like Atlanta that's a good sports town. So if they put like a great product on the floor, it's probably winning over there.
I think it'll be like 800,
There's a lot of potential
950
there.
in
Milwaukee,
range.
Yeah.
Nah,
What about the Atlanta sports teams? Is they just never.
they're usually good. You know, of course,
They're
the
good- they're
Braves
good
were the
until the
team of the
playoffs.
'90s,
Yeah.
and the Falcons. You know, they were the number 1 seed in the NFL a few years ago. Don't forget that.
Yeah, but then
They
they
just
always
get on
I
playoffs.
remember that they would always
Playoffs.
get to they would always lose. They
Always
would
lose in
have-
the NFC
Yeah,
Championship
yeah.
game. All right, guys. It's almost 11 o'clock. That means it's going to be our first commercial break. Next half hour, we're going to be talking about the NFL more, but we're going to give our predictions out. We're going to say who we think is going to win the divisions, who the Super Bowl predictions are, and maybe a few of the awards going out at the end of the year. You know what? Why not, right? First week of the NFL came and went, but it doesn't matter. We can still do this. Why not?
Yeah.
It's a free country. This is America. All right? So, yeah, you don't want to miss it. Don't go away.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop.
Welcome back to the Sports Up here on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University. It is 11:03, starting our second segment. Of course, we're going to be talking about the NFL predictions, Super Bowl predictions, divisions. I don't think we did too much homework, especially you, Kurt, because I was like, hey, you want to go do the show tomorrow?
I'm always
And of
ready.
course, Sean just met you a few minutes ago. So, I mean, but, we all followed football. Of course, we watched yesterday, the first Sunday of the year. I don't know if you watched Thursday, but I did, as being a Packers fan, and that was a little disappointing to me. But
At least it was the Seahawks.
yeah, at least it was the Seahawks. Next week, they get the Jets. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Packers Jets?
Yeah, it's Packers Jets at Lambeau next week. I've got buddies who are a Cup family that are Jets fans, and I really
Be a fun weekend.
dig it into them. But without further ado, let's just go right to our predictions. Let's start with the AFC, and we'll go east to west. How's that sound? So the AFC East, the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins won yesterday, and the team that's that is last place in the AFC West right now, after one game, is the New England Patriots, losing against the Dolphins. They were shut out the second half. Almost everybody's picking the Patriots to win the AFC East, but after watching them yesterday, how do you guys feel about it?
I mean, no Sean Moreno just ran all over the Patriots defense.
That's true, and
He
Mike
made it look
Wallace
nothing.
Mike Wallace caught almost every single pass on Revis Island.
Yeah, caught that touchdown pass over him. That was impressive. So I mean, I thought the Patriots defense was going to be really awesome. They got Revis, they got the
Brandon
Browner. He was on Seattle. He got suspended last year.
Mayo.
They got
They still have
Mayo as a linebacker,
and
then
Spikes.
Vince Wilfork is still in the big boy in the middle,
No,
blocking the run.
well, yeah.
Oh no, he was hurt last year.
Yeah, he
right?
was hurt last year.
Yeah,
He came back
that's what
though.
it was.
He's still a big boy.
I just feel like it's more of a time thing. Like also when I think the Cleveland Cavaliers get on the court, they're all going to be like, so should we just give to LeBron every time? But I just feel like it takes a bit to click, and I still think they're going to come out and win that division just because it's really hard to go against.
It's hard to go against the
Belichick.
Patriots in the
Belichick
AFC
and
East.
Brady, and just I feel like if they're losing, Tom Brady will just tell everyone guys, we suck. We need to stop sucking, and then they'll be like, all right, we'll do
And
it.
they have a healthy Rob Gronkowski now, who caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah, but
yesterday.
how many times is Rob Gronkowski healthy? And
I don't know,
then,
but right now for Week 1, he's healthy.
and he caught a touchdown too. And honestly, when they have him running down the middle, no one's gonna no linebacker or safety is gonna be
Stay
able
with
to,
him.
yeah, or even try to out body him.
One of
Oh, yeah.
the big things that I saw was the offensive line. I mean, the Dolphins' defense was getting through. It seemed like there was no problem getting through that
Offensive
offensive line, and I mean they traded Logan Mankins away. That was a huge move for them. So I think it's all about the offensive line, because if you give Brady time in the pocket, he will pick you apart eventually.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's only a matter of time, but it's the offensive line that needs to get going, I think.
And then but honestly, that division for it's honestly like the Dolphins surprised me. I didn't expect them to do as well as they did. The Buffalo Bills are actually starting to like. I feel like EJ Manuel is kind of starting to figure out the NFL. They just have like a bunch of speed. They have a lot of speed on
Of course, they
defense
have Sammy Watkins now.
Yeah,
I think that if it's going to be a team, like obviously you still bet your money on the Patriots to win the division. It's
Yeah.
still it's only one game.
Are we all picking the Patriots for the
Yeah,
record?
obviously, like,
Yeah.
all on the Patriots to win.
Level of concern is still at 0.
Yeah.
So, because like all those AFC East games, New England always wins, but they're usually always competitive.
Right.
The Jets always play the Patriots well, so it's not really surprising to see they lost. Like they lost to the Dolphins last season too.
Of course, yeah.
But I think if I had to pick a team, not New England to win the division, I'll go with the Dolphins, not the Bills.
I would too.
Yeah, I
'Cause
go.
I think
I like the Dolphins.
I think Tannehill is the second best quarterback in the division, and I think Buffalo has some. Miami has some good weapons also for them.
Yep.
And the defense is just as good as the Jets or Buffalo.
or even New England's right now. If you think, like,
Well, if you
really
look at
wanna-
it,
yeah, like honestly,
I mean, Cameron Wake, and then who's on the other side?
Cameron Wake's a cool story too. Went to Penn State, wasn't drafted, free agent, just came on and just worked his butt off, and now
Now he's a beast.
And now, yeah, now he's the best
and he
player on
sacked
that
Tom
defense.
Brady like twice
Yeah.
yesterday or something.
a
That's
couple fumbles.
I think he forced a fumble, yeah.
Yeah.
However, I think I'm going to go with the Dolphins for a wild card, for the record. If we're talking about the AFC East, I think I'm going to pick them for one of the 2 wild card spots.
I like that too.
All right, let's go to the North, let's say. Let's say they have the Ravens, who lost against the Bengals, who are also in that division.
And then
the Steelers beat out the Browns.
Yeah. Okay, the Browns
round
are
out
going
the
to be
division.
last. Can we all just?
You don't think Johnny Manziel's going to come
right,
in and
time
then
out.
take
Is-
him to the Super Bowl?
Johnny Manziel going to start by the end of the year?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think so.
I'd say
I would say so for Teddy Bridgewater in Minnesota,
Bortles. Down in
and
Jacksonville.
who's
Manziel,
the Raiders.
And then Derek Carr's already
Derek
started.
Carr's
He's
already
already
started,
started.
So
So I mean, I think all those rookies
Yeah.
will be starting at the end of the year.
and also I would just like to say, like, the people who say they should start Kirk Cousins over RG3 are just no, like,
insane.
just no,
That's
dude.
me though. He
No,
outplayed
dude.
him. He outplayed him all preseason. He
Okay,
in
dude.
practices.
Okay, yeah, when he goes against the second.
We saw Kirk Cousins last season. Ain't much to see.
I mean, there wasn't much to see about RG3 though, too.
But
Okay.
In game one,
Okay,
game
like,
one right there,
honestly-
there wasn't much to
RG3
see.
didn't have a good season last season, but the year before, RG3
Yeah,
was
but
a top 5 quarterback.
yeah, but the thing is, he
Kirk
still
Cousins
had
doesn't have that in
he
him.
still had a knee though.
Huh?
In this rookie year, he had a knee.
RG3, like,
Dude.
you gave up.
He's a different
they
player
gave
with
up
that.
2 first-round picks.
Yeah, the
second-
Rams got a lot. The Rams got a lot
Yeah.
for
Kirk Cousins
that pick.
isn't Russell Wilson. He's not one of those late-round picks that's going to star. He's a nice backup quarterback. The backup quarterback.
Yeah. But backup, that's the key word.
He's a
there.
nice backup
He's a
quarterback.
nice backup.
I'd-
He's not going to lead that team to, like,
I
if
look
they
at
want
the
to go
trading him.
It's
forward.
enticing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
I
I
look
don't-
into
I don't
trading
think
him. I
he's
think he'd
answered.
be a good trade chip.
for sure.
But you never see trades in the NFL. Never.
Only,
Never.
only on draft day.
Only on draft day, and those are just
how
picks.
many backup quarterbacks looked good until they got their actually opportunity? Matter of fact, how many backup quarterbacks got their opportunity and ended up being good?
Tom
Aaron
Brady
Rodgers.
and Kurt Warner.
Tom Brady, yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not. He was a first-round pick.
Okay, and
You're not-
also,
don't
say-
okay,
don't say
you
Rivers.
Should, you should love Aaron. Okay, Aaron Rodgers was that was perfect. He was drafted. Watched
he sat
Brett
for 4
Favre
years.
Watch
play.
Brett Favre for 3
You could
years.
say
Play
Romo.
for 3 years.
You could say Romo.
You
But
could say
name me another
Romo.
quarterback that's legitimately good that was a backup for several years. Don't give me. I don't want to hear Schwab. I don't want to hear Matt Castle.
I mean, Kurt Warner.
Doug Flutie.
Yeah.
Doug Flutie.
I mean, there's
There
plenty,
we
there's
go.
plenty, there's
Hall of
plenty of
Famers.
quarterbacks. Though.
Yes,
I
sure.
want to see we can talk about now.
Steve Young.
Steve Young. Yeah, okay. You give me Steve Young. I'm talking recently though.
Okay.
But also,
I
you
don't
could
really
also
think-
like to help.
Everybody's
your
in
argument,
love. Everybody's
you
in love
could-
with the backup quarterback. I don't really think it works out that much. I think those people are more the exception than the rule.
That's true.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
no,
so,
but
too.
obviously, yeah, like I agree with you. Like you can bring up those names like Tom Brady and Kurt Warner. and
Because
all
those
dudes.
are Hall of Famers. Those
Yeah,
are,
yeah,
legitimate
exactly. But
stars.
how many backup quarterbacks have gone in and everyone's just like, oh
Who
god,
was it?
no. Every quarterback for the Detroit
the last
Lions
Jets
since
guy.
Matthew Stafford.
The Browns.
the Browns
Tim
have had
Couch.
like
The last Jets guy, Kellen Clemens. Everybody thought Kellen Clemens was the answer. who's the backup for
never-
Vic now? The third guy, Sims.
Yeah.
People were calling for Sims last season.
That's right. They were.
Yeah.
Oh,
I could go on. Philly, AJ Feely,
Tim Tebow also is a person.
I never.
AJ Feely, Kevin Cobb.
No.
None of these guys are ever good.
I never liked either of those.
Kevin Cobb. Oh my God.
I hated Kevin Cobb right from the start.
All right, AFC North we were on.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got on
I'm
that
gonna go
thing.
with the Ravens because I'm a Ravens fan.
Okay, I didn't even know
That,
that.
there you
I don't know
go.
how we got this.
I mean, they have a good team though, with Torrey Smith and Steve Smith.
No, it's just that
the
like
problem is
on the
Flacco.
wide receivers.
yeah, the problem is that Joe Flacco is not worth $20 million.
You're not
but we still have
wacko
to-
for Flacco right now.
No, like Joe Flacco was just a good
Wacko
quarterback
for Flacco.
on a great defensive-minded team that just on the day of playing the 49ers, if they would have, that Miracle on Ice speech where he's like, if we play these guys 10 times, they would win 9 times, but this one time. That's how I felt the Super Bowl went. The Ravens were just like, today,
Absolutely, I agree with that.
and I was just
And I
like,
picked the Ravens to win, but
yeah. Like, the Ravens
Yeah.
were not, like, if they played again, I would take the 49ers. But,
like
like,
49ers, because you could say
that year.
You could say that about the 49ers for like a lot of those matchups.
That's true.
yeah.
Like I think like if they play the Seahawks 10 times, they win 5.
Yeah,
If
I
they
think
that
so.
Giants team, they probably beat that Giants team
Yeah.
more than the Giants would.
Yeah.
The Ravens too.
Yeah, but, like, just, like, it's not...
It was
it's
just.
not
It
who
was,
the best...
it was meant to be their day.
It's not. Yeah, it's not really who the best team is. It's who the best team on that day is.
Okay. But you're saying that the Ravens are going to be the best team in the AFC North for the season.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go the Bengals. I like their defense, a young defense.
The Bengals too. I think what we saw from the Ravens yesterday was Joe Flacco. How many pass attempts did he have?
He had 63 pass attempts.
Holy crap.
Well, Ray Rice isn't back there.
Hey, we're getting Ray Rice back, and if he has a
I don't
problem
know
with
if
you,
you
he'll
get Ray
just
Rice
hate you.
back.
I don't know if you get
Ray Rice might
Ray
get
Rice might not come back.
Ray Rice might get waived. Honestly, because we know how the NFL is with like crisis and like.
Yeah.
And whenever there's a problem, they stay away.
Of course, the Ray Rice
I'm not
video
gonna say
came out
There's a chance that Ray Rice might
today.
get cut by the end of the day.
I mean,
Or suspended indefinitely by the team. Because I think that if he plays in week 3, it's going to be madness.
I think it will be. Like,
So
there's going to be
I don't
outrage.
think you can necessarily depend on Ray Rice to be there. And I thought Ray Rice was going to have a nice...
And also, I
back
feel
to-
like
Yeah.
I paid like $25 for him in the auction.
like and also historically, I feel like there's always one in the AFC. Like in the AFC, it's always someone from the AFC East and the AFC North are usually. There's always one team from that are in the wild card.
Yeah, and I'm
gonna go Steelers. In honesty, like I'm gonna hope for. Thank you. I'm gonna really hope for the Ravens, and I'm gonna say they're gonna win that division. But I'm gonna say Steelers, Bengals, and like one of them wins the division, one of them gets the wild card. Out of those two.
Okay, I'm actually going to say the Ravens win the second wild card. So I have the Dolphins and the Ravens in the wild card. Let's go to the AFC South. Of course, you got the Colts, you got the Titans, you got the Jaguars, and I'm missing one.
Texans.
Texans, you're right.
So that's easy. The Colts.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Colts, but watch out for the Texans.
Yeah, I think.
Watch out for the Texans.
Yeah,
I like
that
that.
defense
I think
is
that
pretty.
de-
I
that
think
That defense is
pretty good.
really good.
and J.J. Watt is just like a man amongst
He's on
boys.
another
Sometimes.
All right, now hear me out. 'Cause
Yeah.
I love Andrew Luck. I'm not an Andrew Luck hater by no means. I own him in some fantasy leagues. I've always like he's great. That guy's great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of that team, and I'm not just gonna necessarily say that he's going to propel them over everybody else because I don't think that team is that much better. I don't even think they're better than the other teams in the division. I don't think they're that much better than the Titans. I like the Titans.
I don't really like the
I
Titans.
don't-
I like the
like
Titans.
the
Jake
Titans this
Locker,
year.
if Jake Locker stays healthy, Jake Locker is good.
I mean,
I don't think-
Jake Locker's solid. I think he's like more like
They
an
got
Alex Smith
weapons
type
on
of guy.
offense, too.
I think the problem is defense more though with
The
them.
defense is good. Last season, the Titans were like a top 10 defense,
I mean,
and nobody knew. Nobody knew.
nobody knows.
I think they'll definitely contend, and I'm not saying they're gonna they'll probably be like second or third in that division, or I think second because
I mean,
it's
one of the weakest
unless the
divisions.
Texans get there. I think we all agree that Jacksonville's just kind of like
I think they're on the right direction though.
yeah.
of course,
no,
they're in the right
Jacksonville
direction.
definitely,
Once
like,
Bortles comes in, it's going to be fun to. I think it'll
They
be
got some
a lot
weapons.
more fun to watch.
If Hearns is legit,
Yeah.
weapon.
Yeah,
Marquise Lee
Marquise
Yep.
Lee,
be a top 10
Cecil.
pick.
Are they
If
ever
only
gonna get,
Blackman was back and
Blackman
wasn't
was
an
there,
idiot.
Yeah, he just gets too many DUIs. He doesn't know that like once you get one, you have to wait like 6 months before you get
Can't
another
depend
one.
on that guy.
He doesn't know that you shouldn't get one. Don't drink and drive, kids.
Yeah, that's his biggest problem.
But yeah, I mean the Titans. Of course, I think they're going to be competitive. I don't know if that's not like a strong division to me. but like
don't-
they're all going to
it's
be
pretty
competitive
weak.
with each other.
That's true,
That's
and
what I
I
mean.
just feel like that's the Colts take that division and they go on to the playoffs,
Yeah.
and then
I think
no one else makes
I
the
really
playoffs in
just
that
don't
group.
think that like everybody has like there's some like locks in the NFL that you could just bet on. You could bet on Denver, you could bet on New England, you could bet on Seattle.
Right.
People are talking about Indianapolis like you could just bet on that team. I don't think that team is that good to just say we can just bet on them. So like if I made predictions or like odds, I'd probably put Indianapolis first, but I don't think they're like heads and toes better than the rest of the teams.
So what you'd say they'd win like 11-5 and
I say they're
Texans
looking at
go like
9-7.
okay. All
I
right.
say, Andrew Luck is really good. So if there's anybody that could,
I mean, he can do it. He can with the weak division. He can get
he's
through
good.
it.
Yeah.
I think Andrew Luck is really good.
I just really hope Trent Richardson, which I don't think it's going to happen, but if he could show up, like he's literally exactly what the Indianapolis
Mark
Colts need.
Bradshaw is going to be a value in fantasy.
Yeah, I know.
It's not-
Yeah, Trent Richardson
not
is just
betting
so
on Trent
like
Richardson.
every time I see him, I'm just like he's going to finally do it, and then he like fumbles, and I'm just like, God.
I mean, I thought he started the game nicely. Then all of a sudden, it was just Bradshaw every single play. It seemed
Yeah,
like.
Bradshaw's
Yeah,
he's
I
in
know,
the
but
passing
Bradshaw's better
packages.
in like the
Yeah.
passing, you know.
Giants fan, I'll tell you, Bradshaw is good until he gets hurt.
That's true.
So he's good right now, but
It's only a matter of
It's not
time,
that
right?
long until he's good.
Now let's go to the AFC West. Do we really need to discuss it?
Next division.
No,
Denver
but
Broncos.
the only thing I would add is
The Chiefs looked bad yesterday.
Yeah, no, and I think
they
also the
lost two defenders.
I think
Regression.
the Chargers
Yeah.
will be contending for that AFC
For the wild card?
Yeah,
And-
I agree with
I mean,
that.
they got it last year.
Yeah, no, and then honestly, I think it's between like it's gonna be a race between like the Jets, Dolphins,
And
Chargers, and then probably someone from the AFC North, like
Pittsburgh or
Pittsburgh
Baltimore.
Ravens or Bengals or someone. I think that's gonna be the serious race for that final AFC.
I don't know about you guys, but I think the AFC is the weaker conference.
Well, they're the East. They're the East. Of,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the East, West, and basketball.
That's why I love the NFC. So many good players. All right, now let's go to the NFC. Let's start with the NFC East. Of course, we got an Eagles fan in the building, Evan, and we got a Giants fan over there with Sean. I think one team looked significantly better on paper going into the season. Of course, you got to play, but one team looked better than the other. That's why I'm going to go with the Eagles. They just have a lot of offensive talent. They lost to Sean Jackson. Let's see if Jeremy Maclin can stay healthy because, like 3 years ago, Jeremy Maclin, he was a
good.
stud wide receiver.
Yeah. I mean, I have the Eagles this year. They scared me in the first half, but I mean, I think the second half team that showed up to play, I think that's going to be more the team this year, and it's hard to go against that kind of offense with LaShawn McCoy. They picked up Jordan Matthews through the draft. They got Darren Sproles now that he started everything off with that touchdown run in the second
And don't
half.
forget Mark Sanchez. Don't forget Mark Sanchez.
Why you have to bring him up?
You're gonna be starting. I'm telling you.
He's not. I'd rather see.
Hey, man.
I'd rather see Brad Smith start at quarterback
Nah, man.
than Barkley or Sanchez.
Name one of the more
Yeah, I think
entertaining.
Sanchez is getting a
quarterbacks.
bad rap now because Sanchez is
Wait.
Ever since the
two
butt
words,
fumble.
butt fumble.
Ever
Yeah,
since
dude.
the butt fumble.
Butt fumble,
Absolutely.
absolutely. But
Did you
He-
see? Do you
can
remember
we
the
talk about
butt
that
fumble?
player front he had? Like that was
That was
player front
defense.
he had was
Yeah.
good.
That was
Yeah.
defense.
Hey, dude, Trent Dilfer.
Played good. He played. good.
Each
played
year
solid.
they made
He
it.
played
There
well.
that was a defensive team,
He
though.
played.
Hey, dude.
Yeah,
It was ground and
played
pound,
well,
man.
though. He outplayed Brady.
Ground
Dude,
and pound.
Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer. Do you know who those guys are?
Absolutely, of course.
Okay.
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer, both of those guys
Baltimore.
were quarterbacks of a team that were really great. Their defenses were really great.
Yep.
And Eli Manning with the Giants, both when they won the Super Bowl, both those that defense was just
That defense, however, Eli Manning, I believe, is
Oh no, Eli
pretty
Manning.
good quarterback.
Eli Manning is either awful
or fantastic.
and he'll be doing. He could literally throw 6 interceptions, but if you gave him the ball, if there's 1 minute to go, they have the ball at the 20.
We're not going to go down the Eli road because I don't
all right,
want
just
to get us off track.
Real quick, is Eli Manning an elite quarterback?
no.
When
When the money's on the line, absolutely.
When the
2
money's
minutes,
on- if
with
you
2
lead
minutes to
quarterback
go in the
overall.
game, with 2 minutes to go in the game, absolutely.
I'd rather have Eli than Peyton. When
Whoa.
the money is on the line.
That's
We've seen this. We've seen this.
we
so
have
many
seen.
times.
He's got the
He has
evidence.
one more ring, but Peyton Manning, Eli
mean,
Manning's
there's-
team was better than Peyton Manning's
60
team with
minutes
the
of the game.
Colts and stuff like defense. Honestly, in the NFL, when you think about it, if you're a quarterback, right off the bat, you're only on the field for half the time.
Yep.
And the other half is your defense. And
Right.
if you watch those, and their defense's job is give your team a chance to win, and that's what the Giants defense did for Eli Manning in both those super
People just try to discredit Eli's run.
Oh no, I think Eli Manning, like I said, Eli Manning is probably the best quarterback in the
general
last minute
consensus about Eli Manning was he just got lucky. You don't
Right.
get lucky
No, he
in
didn't.
the NFL.
It's hard to get lucky twice. When
yeah, especially
I really think that I honestly believe and I'm sort of a Peyton Manning hater. Peyton Manning's the best quarterback in the NFL. Absolutely.
Yep.
55 touchdowns last season. It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Yes.
Unreal, right? I've been the leader of the Peyton Manning, just bet against Peyton Manning in the playoffs for 10 years now.
And you know what?
And I've been right
9 of those years.
9 of 10. And even when they won the Super Bowl, he was terrible in the Super Bowl.
He won the
but that
MVP,
defense-
but I don't think he should have.
Their defense wasn't good either. They were facing Rex Grossman.
That's true.
Rex
That's
Grossman
true.
was terrible.
He is terrible.
Rex Grossman was terrible.
That was what was it? It was Donald Brown, and who was the other running back that I think should have won? Joseph Adai. Yeah.
Joseph Adai. Yeah, was that
Joseph, maybe he might have been around as a backup.
I don't know.
All right, but anyway,
Yeah, so I'm just saying that I see this there's just some narratives in the NFL that just don't change. It's always entertaining, but I think you can always bet against teams like the Eagles. You can bet against Peyton Manning when it counts.
Cowboys just in any
Cowboys.
game,
every December game.
Better than the Jets to be a circus and talk way better than they actually are. It's just some things that just don't change in the NFL.
Very true.
Yep. So who you have winning the division?
What division we on?
NFC East. Yes.
I mean, obviously I'm gonna go with the Giants,
Okay.
but that's biased. I'm biased.
Yeah,
I'm
that's biased.
I'm
How about
gonna
you, Kurt?
go Eagles, and then Giants or Redskins get that wild card spot.
All right, and
Because
before
I feel like the Redskins are gonna figure that they're gonna figure out that offense, and I think their defense they gotta get Kerrigan and Arakpo back, and then if they figure out their stuff in the secondary, I think they could do some serious damage.
and before we go to the final 3 divisions in the NFC and pick our Super Bowl predictions, we can bring this into an hour. We can do this all the way up to 12 o'clock. That's our closing. But first, we're going to have to go to commercial break right now. It's 11:24. Call in with your thoughts on the NFL season, what your predictions are at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. Before we do our predictions, though, we got to do our new segment. That's a good one. I'll explain it to you two during the commercial break. So stick around on WSJU Radio, the voice of St. John's University, to the Sports Stop.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop.
Are you ready?
James? Kurt? Evan?
Okay. All right, fellas. Let's go! In the mind of the back city, everyone attack and they turn it to a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I wanna it'll turn it to a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz.
Welcome back to the Sports Stop, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is 11:31. Call in with your NFL predictions, because that's what we're doing now, at 718-990-3SJU. That's 718-990-3758. All right, so we were left off doing NFL predictions. We just got done with the NFC East. But first, before we continue with that, we have a new segment that we're going to unveil right now. So those of you listening in, you're very lucky. You're just hearing the first segment of Let It Go.
Time to move on.
The past is in the past.
It's time to let it go.
Let it go, when I rise like the break of dawn.
Let it go, ladies and gentlemen.
Let it go.
All right, this segment, of course, it's new, so it's a little bit new to us too. But the idea is, have somebody of the past week or between our two shows that just, had a forgettable week or so, And, they just have to let it go. And so we're just going to point that out. And hopefully the cold didn't bother them anyway. So, I'll go first with my let it go. And it's going to be, of course, all of you football fans definitely saw this. The guy, the Browns punter who was, Sparta kicked by Antonio Brown in the face? Well, that guy's name is Spencer Lanning. He's the punter. And I'm looking at the GIF here. Is it GIF or GIF?
I go GIF.
I go GIF too.
I'll go GIF.
Yeah, all right.
GIF it is.
So Antonio Brown's returning a punt, and it looks like he tries to hurdle Spencer Lanning, the Browns punter, and I think he's like, man, I can't do this. Let me just extend my foot and hit him in the face. Obviously, there was a penalty called, 15 yards for kicking
unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness, kicking somebody in the face. 15-yard penalty, Steelers first down.
The best thing about it is that it looks so intentional.
It does.
It looks so like, oh, this guy's gonna try and tackle me. I'm just gonna kick him right in the face.
I think once he jumped,
He was like, "Oh, I'm done."
I have to. He's like, I have to kick him. I'm sorry. So that's my let it go moment. Now let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Okay. I got it. I just gotta kind of get situated. Gotta get things out of the way. All right. So Evan, you got a let it go moment?
Yeah, my let it go moment goes out to everyone from over summer up until now that could not throw a first pitch, including 50 Cent.
Those are bad.
The Miss Texas, the failed underhand toss from her. The lady on Houston Astros.
I think it was a fan or something like that.
Yeah, a fan threw a first pitch and spiked it into the ground too. So all those failed first pitches in baseball games, you get the.
Just gotta let it go. All right.
Just gotta let it go.
Actually,
right down the line,
I have to do a couple.
Okay.
My first one is gonna go to Brazil, the country, because of the thromping that Germany put down on them, the entire country.
The
Because
views of Kurt Semm are not views of SportsStop or James Mitchell, Evan Maguire, or Sean. Sean, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name. What's your last name?
Lozier.
One more time.
Lozier.
Lozier. All right.
And then my second one, and probably the funniest one, is going out to Jerry Jones. I'm sorry that there were more San Francisco 49ers fans than Cowboys fans. And also, I'm sorry that your team's going to suck again this year. So get ready for that.
Cowboys, Jerry Jones, Brazil. Just let it go. All right, Sean, you got one? I know you just walked in. You didn't know what the heck was going to go happen.
All right. I'm starting to get fed up at this point with Roger Goodell. Because time after time, suspension after suspension, he keeps getting everything wrong. And he keeps showing that he's a really incompetent commissioner. And especially with this Ray Rice situation, now that the videos come out, there's not exactly like a way to suspend him again. Because I know if like labor arbitration.
Yeah, the players' union's going to have a field day with that.
Again. So, but it's so apparent that he got the decision wrong.
Yeah.
And with everybody else getting 4-game suspensions, it just seems like a joke. So instead of, I believe that he needs to get some discipline out. He deserves some backlash because time to time, it's the scoreboard is showing that he's losing.
He just needs to let it go.
He needs to let it go, right?
And that was our Let It Go segment.
And also, I feel like Roger Goodell's going to have a tougher time because he now has to deal with the entire Jim Irsay thing. And this is like the first time in a while that
I feel
an
like
owner
Jim Irsay's
that
the least of his problems right now, though.
But I know, but like but every player is going to look at that
Jim
judgment.
Irsay was found in a car with, like, what was it, a couple $100,000 in a bag, like a bulk, like a brick. I think it was a brick or like a case full of prescription pills. Or drugs.
Yeah.
And I think he was like high. When,
Yeah, he was-
he got stoned too.
That's a serious offense.
That's a very serious offense. That's a felony.
That's a serious offense. And I believe he's just getting off because he's the owner.
Yeah, and like honestly, it's gonna be interesting to see how and like it
I can
will
only
be another
imagine what would
Roger.
happen if that was like a player. Like if that was Deshaun Jackson, I think they might have just kicked him out the NFL.
Yeah,
Yeah, they probably would
I
have.
really don't know.
All right. So that was our Let It Go segment. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. I really like that. I think that works out. So let's continue on with our predictions. Let's go up to the NFC North. Of course, you got the Packers, Bears, Lions, and Vikings. The Packers lost by 20 against Seattle. The Bears got upset by the Buffalo Bills, which I was thrilled about. The Lions are playing tonight. The Lions are playing the Giants. And the Vikings stomped the Rams, actually.
Okay, but I think the Rams are going to have the number 1 pick this year.
I mean, they don't. Stan Bradford went down. You can say whatever you want about him, but he's significantly better than.
I really don't think they're that bad.
I know, but
he
he
have a lot of talent on that team. Actually,
They've got a good defense.
They have a really good
Didn't
defense.
show it yesterday, but I mean, they held Peterson to what, 75 yards?
Yeah, but they didn't.
No easy thing to
They
do.
didn't hold that receiver.
Robert Quinn and Chris Long are monsters.
Yeah, Robert Quinn's
Monsters.
great.
So I really think that team is too good to win 2 games. I think they win 4 or 5 by accident. That's a tough division though. So
That is a very tough division. That's the West, though. We're talking about the North here.
Yeah. I don't know how. We keep getting off tangents.
I know. That's what it is. That's the sports stuff.
I'm gonna go Bears, Packers, Lions, and then Vikings.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Packers, Lions, Bears, Minnesota. I'm thinking the Lions actually get in the playoffs this year and can do something.
So,
Maybe.
if you're saying the Lions make the playoffs, that means
Wild card.
wild card.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
I'm gonna go crazy.
the Packers, Bears, Lions, Vikings, and I say the Bears make the wild card.
Except every single year at week 8-ish, Jay Cutler breaks something on his hand.
Absolutely.
That's
So
true.
he's out for the perfect amount of time for them to make a series.
4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 to 6 games
Jay
exactly.
Cutler-
4 to
Jay
6 games,
Cutler-
week 8. You always does it every year.
Don't come back for the
Jay
last
Cutler's
3
been in the
weeks.
NFL for 7, 8 years?
What's that?
Jay Cutler's been in the NFL for 7, 8 years?
Yeah.
Probably around there, yeah.
I'm still not exactly sure if he's good or not.
I
just gets
like
hurt.
Jay Cutler.
I like Jay Cutler, but I'm not sure if he can win the Super Bowl.
And I'm a Packer fan. That's true, though.
I love Jay Cutler back in Denver with Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
Money in the bank and fantasy.
He's got him now.
Dude.
Got him now.
That was
Yeah.
I got him now too. Yeah, I got him now too. But back then, I like Jay Cutler. I'm not exactly sure if he's a winning quarterback.
Now he has Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey.
That's 2 of the top 10
And
receivers in the league.
Matt Forte. So he's got a good defense. I mean, offense working with. Defense just added Jared Allen from the Vikings, actually. But, Sean, what do you think is going to happen?
All right.
Who do you get at the top?
With all that being said, I'm still going with the Bears.
You're going to go with the Bears? All
I think
right.
They have too many weapons. And
I think that's going to be one of the most competitive divisions in the league.
And that's another division.
That's what the
No
NFC
matter how bad one of the teams are, no matter even if the Vikings are 1
They
and
still play
15,
each other so hard.
1 and
Yeah.
10, they
I
still.
can see the Vikings out of shocking everybody.
I see the Vikings winning maybe 4 or 5 games.
Nah, I can see them sneaking
I was
in there.
gonna
Ooh, I don't know
getting
about that.
7 or 8 wins.
I was gonna say 6, maybe 7.
Because their defense is serviceable, and they have weapons on offense.
Well, they have
you can't really count out.
they have
Cordell
Adrian Peterson, so,
he's really good.
He is. Greg Jennings, he has Cordell
Jennings
Patterson
has
on the
actually
other
been
side.
Really good since
Patterson's
Castle
leading
took over
rusher.
last season.
Yeah.
An AP, of course.
So I'm not gonna call it, but if they won 9 games and everybody at the end of the season, there's always one team that be how did they make the playoffs?
Right, yeah.
They could be that team.
The Vikings could be that team.
They could be that team.
All right, let's go to the NFC South. You have this one's going to be another tough division. Of course, you had the Falcons beating the Saints yesterday. Those are typically the Saints are the top team. A lot of people think. The Panthers made the playoffs last year. Lost a lot of their receivers. Lost a lot of their offense. Still have a dominant defense though. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who the Panthers beat yesterday. So I think it's going to be the Saints, Falcons, and the Falcons get that wild card. And then Panthers, Bucks. I don't even know about because Cam Newton.
Here's the thing.
He was out yesterday.
We could talk about how Carolina Panthers lost all their weapons last season.
Yeah,
All right, but
Kelvin Benjamin, their draft pick.
He could
He's I think he's going to win.
I'm a big Cam
something.
Newton fan. I think he's a little underrated. I like real life.
Yeah.
Like fantasy, everybody knows he's great.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good real life quarterback. He's underrated. He didn't have any weapons to begin with, so I think a lot of people they won. What was it? 13 games left? 12 games?
I think it was It was either 12 or 13.
They won 12 or 13 games last season.
I think it was
Strictly,
13.
strictly off defense and managing the game on offense.
Yeah.
So even they lost Steve Smith. I don't really think they didn't have any weapons to begin with.
I mean, the biggest weapon was
So I think
Greg
the whole
Olsen. He
demise
was
of
the
the
main
Carolina
target.
offense, I think that's like a little overblown.
All right.
Could it be like a
And also for the Panthers, they're the only team in that division who
Defense.
base their team off defense.
Yeah.
And because if you watch the Falcons Saints game, it was a typical Drew Brees game where the Saints are like, we're just gonna try to score more points than you.
Yeah, it was a shootout.
Because we
That's
know
the-
our defense isn't gonna stop you.
But
But
that's
like Saints were like priding themselves. Was just priding themselves on like they were supposed to be a good defensive team this year, and like Bob Ryan was just like, we're gonna be good defense, and they did not show that at all against the Falcons.
Yeah, but like the thing with the entire division, like you have Saints and the Falcons, two of the better offensive teams in the league, and you have the Panthers who base their team off of on the defensive side. Yeah, I mean there's questions about the offense, yes, but they got Benjamin this year. Once Cam Newton comes back and he's healthy, he's going to be good, but can you still compete with two of the best offensive teams in the league? Like one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Drew Brees.
Yeah,
Matt Ryan's coming back with Julio, healthy. Roddy
Here's the
White.
thing: you can always bet on a good defense because with with a lot of these teams, like all these quarterbacks, you can always bet on. There's one thing that gets them out of their sync, and that's really what it is. Because in the NFL with all the new rules and everything, you just got to get them out of their rhythm. If you have a good defense, this goes for Brady. This goes for Peyton Manning. This goes for Aaron Rodgers, Breeze, all these guys. You start getting in their face, and they're not the same quarterback anymore.
Oh, no, definitely not. If you just look at Seattle against the Packers,
That was not Aaron Rodgers.
that was not Aaron Rodgers.
That was, I don't know who was playing, who had jersey number 12 on.
Yeah.
And just getting like not
Tom Brady starts twink. He turns into a ballerina once he starts getting pressure on him.
That's true.
That
I mean,
happened yesterday.
that's how the Jets beat the Jets always seem to beat the Patriots the past few
That's
years.
always the
and
answer.
that's always the answer. You're
So
right.
if you're telling me that Cam Newton is going to replicate his season from last season, good. I think they said Cam's going to be back next week.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
No, they're
hopeful.
what happened? He could. I
He has
think
broken ribs though, so that's like
I think he could have actually played.
Yeah.
But
But
the
if he
coach
got
was
hit-
just
Like,
Yeah,
if he
I
got
think if
hit,
he
they
got
were saying
hit, he would have been out for like 4 weeks. I
Well,
think.
dude, it's better to let something heal than to play.
Yeah,
on
exactly,
something
yeah.
that's
It's a
already
long, it's a
healed,
long
you know?
season. You're not
Yeah.
going to risk them week one.
But if
And
you
they
tell-
won it too, so I mean that's good too.
But yeah, if
hindsight.
you see, this is another thing. I would pick the Panthers. I go against the grain and pick the Panthers because I just think that even though people think they're going to regress, I think if that defense is truly good, they're just as good as Atlanta and New Orleans. Like,
Okay.
I don't really think last season was a fluke, and I think like you could just tell sometimes in the playoffs when teams are just on the next level. I think there were 3 teams last season in the NFC that would have done that same thing that happened to Denver or New England or anybody who made it out to the AFC.
Right.
I think Carolina's defense was so good that Peyton Manning wouldn't have been able to do it. I think it was Carolina, San Francisco, and Seattle.
Yeah.
Their defenses were just next level, and that matters in the NFL because like as much as we're so in love with like fantasy and stuff,
yeah.
defense still does change the whole perception.
I mean,
of the game.
the old saying is defense wins championships. I mean, look at the
Offense
'85
wins
Bears.
fantasy games, but defense does win championships.
yeah.
So-
2001, or like if you just look at these, like 2000 Ravens, 2002 Buccaneers, and then the Giants teams. You know,
Yeah.
Last team defense weren't that good on that level.
I mean,
up front
they were good. Yeah, up front, the front seven.
In the
front seven was
trenches,
nice.
yeah.
But those are like all-time dominant defense, like
Yeah.
the '86 Bears and stuff.
I mean, last
Giants
year
weren't that good.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Come on
Yeah,
now.
So, yeah.
All right, speaking of Seattle, let's go to the NFC West. Of course, Seattle and the
gonna win that
49ers came out of that division last year. The Cardinals were really close to making the playoffs last year. They were 10-6, and they came in third and missed the playoffs. That's kind of hard.
which was better than like mostly everyone else.
Yeah. So this year, I think I picked one too many wild cards because I want the 49ers. I want the 49ers. I think I'm going to pick the 49ers to make it to the wild card. The NFC is just so hard. I'm going to pick the Seattle Seahawks to win the division. And I think I'm going to take away the Bears in the wild card and replace them with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, Bears.
I'm going to probably have to. I didn't even think about the West.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I didn't think about the West, and I.
Because even the Cardinals could technically, like they could very well get that final one.
I don't know.
10-6 last year.
Carson
They were
Palmer still
good.
the quarterback?
What's that?
Is Carson Palmer still the quarterback?
Yeah.
So I'm not betting on it.
And
But
they
it's still
lost
Larry
Darnell
Fitzgerald.
Dockett for the season, the
Yeah.
defensive leader, who has all the intensity, and I think that's just a huge blow for their defense.
Yeah, but
Going back
maybe-
to Carson Palmer, would you rather have him or John Skelton?
Carson Palmer?
Thank you.
That's not saying anything, though.
I know.
That's not saying anything.
But I say Seattle, and then Niners get the wild card.
Yeah, I feel like. What about the Rams though? They look so good in the first game.
They did.
They look so good.
No, they didn't.
I couldn't even get through that scene.
Yeah, you know what?
Not without laughing.
Rams to win the division.
Rams to win the division.
That'd be the greatest
Okay.
goal of all time.
Yeah, right.
Sean Hill leading them to a Super Bowl.
No, not Sean Hill.
Oh, wait, who's the third string quarterback? Yeah,
Austin something?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Stephen Austin?
It's over.
just put
Just
Tavon
like-
Austin behind center and he'll do the rest.
when it's not even week 2 and you're already at your third string quarterback, like
You
know
just
you're
got
going places.
All right, but here's the thing. I don't think Sam Bradford was good to begin with.
yeah.
No,
they
he's
should
too
pick
injury-
up
he's too
Tim
injury
Tebow.
prone.
Stop it.
Oh.
They should pick up Brett Favre.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Bring Tebow back.
Bring Brett Favre.
Wait.
back.
So is
Why
Tebow just
not
like
put
is he
Tim
just
Tebow?
like a professional analyst for
I
the
think-
SEC
yeah,
Network?
I think so, yeah.
He doesn't play football no more.
I mean, I'm sure he'd listen to calls, but
Nobody's gonna call.
nobody's going to call
Oh my
him.
God.
honestly,
Tim.
I never got why the Jets never gave him a shot.
Poor
Like
Tebow.
their season, they were already awful.
I know.
And Tim Tebow,
That's
just
because
like,
Mark Sanchez was a Sanchez, Kurt. He was a Sanchez.
The Jets did Tebow really dirty. Like I
Jets
can make a
did Tebow.
parallel to the way some guys treat girls of what the Jets did to Tebow. I'm not gonna do it, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Are you saying the Jets Ray Rice Tim Tebow?
No, I'm saying. I mean, essentially, they did. How many? Yeah.
Ray Rice is so.
All right. We got a little bit of time left. Let's go to the Super Bowl. We're gonna skip the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're exciting, but let's go to the Super Bowl. Let's give our two Super Bowl teams.
This is tough.
Now this is recording, and of course we'll bring it back towards the end of the Super Bowl and after the season, and we'll have fun with it. We did that with baseball. I listened to it the other day, and we were pretty bad. But
We were really bad.
It's so hard because like you
It's
have
so
those
long.
no, and plus you have those teams like the Giants or the
yeah,
the Tigers too, and like just teams who are like, oh, you're supposed to be really good, and then when the season starts, they're just like,
yeah. I mean,
we
who
don't
saw
know
the
what
Red
we're
Sox going from worst to first, back to worst again?
Yeah.
And you know what? They're probably going to be really good next year. So Super Bowl predictions. Sean, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Seattle and Denver rematch.
Okay.
It's
I
gonna be
feel like
Miami,
that's the
San Antonio all over
Is
again.
it going to be another blowout?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't think.
In
I mean,
Seattle?
it might be
For
close this time.
Seattle?
Yeah, it might be close.
I still go to Seattle. Seattle's too good, man. They brought back all those teams. The defense. Russell Wilson is like, he was going really low in like fantasy leagues. I think he's gonna have like a really, really shockingly good season.
He's my fantasy quarterback.
He
Yeah,
went
my
like
12
you got.
team
That means
league.
you waited then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I waited.
You got in like what the 10th, 11th round.
Something like that.
I got
Maybe
him-
like 9th.
No,
In
I
the
got him-
hundredth,
I
in
got
the
him
hundred-
eight,
like-
in the hundreds.
Yeah,
it
in
was
the
like
hundreds,
8th, 9th
so-
round, though. 14-person league. So
And then also, and then Marshawn Lynch even put up 24 fantasy points in their home opener, so he still looks like he's still
so
beasting.
I just think Seattle's
Pun
too good, man.
intended.
Yeah. All right, who you got, Kurt?
It's really hard to go not with that matchup, but I feel like I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to go 49ers, and then I think I'm going to go Patriots.
You see, here's the thing about the 49ers. In the NFL, everything is so volatile to the point where, like, a team could be great one season, and the next season they won't make the playoffs. The 49ers have had, like, a nice little 4-year run of just being great. And usually you go through, like, peaks and valleys. So they made the NFC Championship game, NFC Championship game again, Super Bowl.
NFC Championship.
They're going to make it again? Like, that's really, like, they got to fall off eventually.
No, but I feel like at the beginning of the year they're going to struggle because they don't get back Alden Smith
after
until
9 games, and then
Navarro,
you get Bowman
Bowman.
back.
yeah, and then that's just gonna and it's gonna take them like that's exactly the type of time you want people who have been out for a season. to
Also,
come
if
back.
You have them more fresh than everyone else.
and then
they're
also
gonna-
they get those 2 or 3 like serious games of like week 10 to week 13 of like playing.
Also, if you want to throw in a distraction, a monkey wrench, if you will, they're talking about John Harbaugh not being
not coming back.
being
Yeah,
liked
so
in the
losing
locker
the
room
team.
or things like
Losing
that.
the team.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how the
I'm- like,
49ers.
I really-
they look good yesterday. I'll tell
It's
you that
sad
much.
because you never want to miss your window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you said Patriots and 49ers?
Yeah.
All right.
You know, just to be
Okay.
because I just want to be different. I don't know.
I'll go with Denver. I'll go with Denver and the Niners.
Denver and 49ers?
Yeah, I'll go Denver and the Niners, and I'll let Peyton Manning win this one.
Okay. You think Peyton Manning's going to retire after this year?
If he wins the Super Bowl, yes.
I think Peyton Manning could play to like 43.
I think he could too, honestly. But
I think if he wins the Super Bowl, I
don't think he'll do a Brett Favre though. I don't think he'll play until he's not wanted anymore.
Peyton, before Brett Favre retired, he was Brett Favre always had a crazy cannon arm.
I love Brett Favre.
I said Gannon. But Peyton Manning really doesn't throw the ball hard. I'm watching this game. I'm like, it's crazy how
it always seems like he's floats it a little bit.
Yeah, he literally.
He's literally just throwing it over the head.
That's always been the knock on him, even coming out of college. He doesn't have the strongest arm.
He used to get some juice on it.
Yeah, everyone does, but everyone always said he doesn't have the strongest arm though. That was always his knock.
If you look at, you won't see him throw a line drive over the middle to get a slant receiver. It's always
perfect. It's
MVP, the best quarterback possibly ever. But he's got such accuracy that he doesn't really need that, the gunslinger
That's
mentality.
why I miss people like Michael Vick and Brett Favre. Brett Favre would literally just be have this tiny little window and just be I can throw this ball 70 miles an hour. So
Exactly.
I think I'll make it, and then just
4 defenders, 8 hands. Forget it.
Drew Brees too, dude. Drew Brees. That's why I love watching Drew Brees, and that's why he throws so much. Matthew Stafford does this too.
Yeah, Matthew
Stafford
does
have the unfortunate advantage of having Calvin Johnson.
Eli does it too. It's just Eli. He's not as accurate.
I feel bad
as
for Eli because Eli's the type of quarterback who will have 3 interceptions, and you'll look back and look at it, and 2 of those will be perfect passes that just.
No, last season he got really unlucky. We can agree on that.
Oh yeah, a bunch of interceptions went off of the receiver's hands.
A lot of them.
Probably maybe even half of them.
It was actually ridiculous.
That's why I think they should give as a stat receivers interceptions.
I mean that you could argue that, but that's more of a fantasy team complaining type of thing.
yeah, exactly. Not a. But wait, did you say your Super Bowl pick?
I did not.
Uh-oh.
I think we all have. Oh, besides you, Kurt, but 3 out of us 4 have, including me, have the Broncos. And it's just the AFC. They're so weak.
Yeah.
So
all right, can we get at least, since we're all picking the same 4 teams basically? Can we get some wild horse team, dark horse teams?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think that.
For the record, I think I'm gonna go Saints for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And Broncos Saints, another Breeze Manning matchup. But dark horse teams. There's so many in the NFC because you never know.
I'm gonna go
the whole conference.
Actually, the one I want so bad is Giants Broncos because that would just be the most epic brother versus brother.
He does terrible against Peyton though, so I don't think I would have. I'm defending Eli all this time. We always get blown out whenever we face the Colts or the Broncos.
I know this is a real dark horse, but. I just love to see the Eagles finally make it to the Super Bowl and then actually have a shot to win it with their kind of offense.
That's your heart. That's your heart speaking right there.
I know it is. I know it is. But I want to.
I wouldn't say that they're a dark horse either. I think they're
they're just a hope and a dream for young guys.
I think, people actually are picking the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna say that's a sleeper team. I think they're the favorite to win the division.
I think their defense is just too subpar. Yeah. I don't think their defense can stop a Drew Brees.
Or anybody.
They almost let Chad Henne walk all over
Chad Henne looked like Joe Montana in that
first. That's 170 yards. He finished with 180.
Yeah, but that first half, man. Let's see here. I've been saying this for 3 years now, going into seasons. I like the Miami Dolphins. And I think this year is the year that they actually make the playoffs. I love Noshawn Moreno. He's gonna be their starting back over Lamar
Miller. I like Miller too. Miami Hurricane. That's my guy. But
I like Noshawn a lot better.
But he's a nice.
Yeah. He's a nice change of pace back.
A sleeper based on just pure talent. I would go the Detroit Lions as well. If you're talking about a team that has all the right pieces and it's just a matter of putting together the puzzle.
They fired a bad coach.
If they can get into
they fired a bad
playoffs,
coach and then hired another not good coach.
No, the problem with Matthew Stafford though, this is what I was saying earlier. So I'll say this before is that sometimes he just throws the ball in Calvin Johnson's area,
And Calvin
it's
goes
either
up.
a pick or Calvin Johnson.
Or an
gets it.
amazing
Yeah,
catch.
yeah. So it's just that's where he
You
kind
have
of goes
Megatron,
off.
you can do that.
Yeah.
You can't
His name's
really,
Megatron.
Like throwing it to Megatron in triple coverage is like sometimes a better option.
Now they have Golden Tate, who's a very
Yeah.
good receiver.
And,
Very good
and
second
that's
wide
good for him
receiver.
because
Yeah.
now he gets to.
They got Ebron.
He's not going to have to be
Yep.
with one of the
Yeah.
main
Joik
guys.
Bell and Reggie Bush, I love that tandem at running back.
Yeah.
They
Great
had-
pass catchers.
I think they have the offense for it.
And
they've
Dom
been stacking
who's
up. Like, their
defense-
defensive line is nasty
Yeah, their
too.
the
That's
defensive
actually a
line
good
is
pick.
Yeah.
nasty. Yeah. It's
Like
just the
nasty
defensive
as
backs.
in, very
gotta lose
good,
tonight,
but they
though. They
are
gotta lose
also
tonight.
very nasty.
They got to lose tonight. I was talking way too much trash for my Giants to lose on Monday Night Football because I'm gonna get it back. All that Eagles and Jets stuff, I can't have the Giants.
Well,
lose
you know
tonight.
what? We'll see about that tonight
I can't have
as the Lions
I
are
might go into
hosting the
witness
Giants. Am
protection,
I correct? Lions are hosting the Giants?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm definitely gonna be watching that one. I don't know if I'll stay up for the Chargers Cardinals, but I mean we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. I have some fantasy implications are on the line for that one. All right, it is 11:58. We're just about to end here. The next show is Viv and Jay's talk show, and that starts at 12:10, I believe. I saw on the schedule earlier today, unless they changed it. But I don't know. You know, first shows of the season, first week of school. I changed my show time 3 different times already, and I think I'm sticking it right now. But yeah, you guys looking forward to the NFL season. This is recording. It's going to be on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. It's SportsStop WSJU. Check it out. I'm going to be putting it on social media. You can follow us at SportsStop WSJU on Twitter. It's going to be going up there, the link to our channel, once this new show comes out. So thanks for listening, folks. If you missed any of it or all of it, like I said, it's going to be on YouTube later on the week. Probably Wednesday. That's my off day. So for Sean, what's your last name again?
Sean Lozier, man. Sean Lozier.
Lozier. I'm so bad
It's
at
all
names.
good, man.
For Sean Lozier, Kurt Semm, Evan Maguire, I'm James Mitchell saying, you know what? Life is good today. Let's keep it that way.